Welcome to Bella's Bargains, where everything is from the Dollar Tree. And why? Because everything at the Dollar Tree is $1, people. $1. This is Effingham. My cow, he goes with me sometimes. Hope you'll stick around and consider subscribing. Don't sit under the apple tree with anyone else but me. Anyone else but me. Anyone else but me. No, 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 don't sit under the apple tree with anyone else but me till I come marching home. I just got word from a guy, heard from the guy next door to me, that a girl he met just loves the pet and it fits you to a T. So don't sit under the apple tree with anyone else but me till I come marching home. Hi guys, welcome to Bella's Bargains. My name is Amy. Guess what today is? Well, first of all, it's Wild Wednesday, except you know what you're getting today. Today is the Apple Challenge, and I'm so excited because I made quite a few Apple things. It's like my mind wouldn't stop, just kept going. I used almost everything that I hauled and said I was going to use for the Apple Challenge, so for you regulars, you know what I'm talking about. A few things didn't quite come out. But anyway, let's go. Before I show you everything that I've made, for everybody that's new on here right now because you're watching because of the challenge, I want you just to consider subscribing. Stick around a little bit. I'm like a bad train wreck. Can't look away. But it gets very entertaining. It's kind of like do you remember when Seinfeld first came out and nobody really understood, like, is it funny? Is it not funny? And then we got addicted and then it was hysterical. It's kind of like, I'm kind of like that. An acquired taste. Anyway, we have a whole bunch of fun on this channel. So let's go over a few things about this channel. Number one is it's Dollar Tree, Dollar Tree, Dollar Tree, and only Dollar Tree. And do you want to know why? Say it with me, besties. It's because everything at the Dollar Tree is $1, people, $1. I refer to all of my subscribers as Bella's Besties. We actually voted on it, so I didn't come up with that. Like my little community, our channel, my besties did. And we have so much fun. One of the things that we do on this channel is something called the Subscribers Challenge. So you guys as the subscribers can do a craft and you send me photos of it via Facebook and I put it on my channel and we do a whole video of all of the subscribers who have done the craft. So this month, the challenge is back to school, and that's it. It's just a theme. So however you would create that, however you see back to school, you create a craft, you send it to me. It has to get to me by August 28th, the last Saturday of the month. The only rule is it has to be Dollar Tree, and only Dollar Tree items and supplies. So you can make a wreath, you can make a picture, you can make whatever you want, but just the theme is back to school. All right. So one thing you should know too is that I do at least 4 uploads a week. And if you look down below in the description box, you're going to see what those uploads are. But basically there's Tuesday and Thursday, which are crafting days, Foodie Friday on Fridays, which are food reviews, and shopping Saturdays, which are shopping hauls. But then I throw in Wild Wednesdays or bonus hauls. So today, this is a challenge, but it's fallen on one of my Wild Wednesdays. So it's a wild throw-in video. All right. And the other thing is I do a giveaway every week. So all you have to do is watch and subscribe. You must be a subscriber. Watch Tuesday and Thursday. On both those videos, you need to give me a thumbs up and you need to comment. And then every Tuesday, I announce a winner for the week before that. Okay? So except for this last Tuesday, I did not because I was gone. Yesterday, I did not. But I'm actually back. When you guys are watching this, I'm back. But my suitcase is like right there. I'm getting ready to leave for Disney World. But by the time you watch this, I'm back. I was gone for a week, but I'm back. I filmed this, like, literally I'm leaving in hours. I'm leaving. So I'm filming this intro. But I finished all the crafts. Okay, who cares? Should we dive into this? Because I'm so excited. Rita, my little Rita, my friend, you're going to love the Apple stuff that I did. And some of it's super tier tray. So first of all, let me just start. I'm going to start with this one. Why not? All right. So this is just a cute little piece of kitchen decor. It's a galvanized mason jar. This is a material that I found at the Dollar Tree. I thought it screamed apple and country. This is from the new is it the farmhouse? Well, it's in one of the new calendars in 2022. That's the back of the calendar. It said Orchard Apples. And so this is just a cute little piece of apple decor. I used not Jot permanent markers. I used the, what are they called? Pastels. No. Oh gosh, they're the things that are like the pastels. They're the crayons that they're like waxy. You'll see in the video. How about we go there? Anyway, so this is just a cute little piece of kitchen decor. and very, very simple. Speaking of simple, let me take you to this one, which is an upscale of one of their signs, and I'm in love. I love this piece. This is one of their signs, and you know, you see them in the store and they look kind of cheesy, but they'll have good graphics. That's what this is. So I just want you guys to look. I three-dimensionalized. Look at that bucket full of apples for apple picking, and we've got some three-dimensional, like some, I added stickers, so pumpkins and leaves, and you'll see on the video, I outlined it in the black, and then I took these wood beads off of another thing that I had in my stash and put them on here, and then the farmhouse ribbon would just bow. See, I'm keeping this. This is so cute. It came out so well, and it's so easy. But it went with the apple theme. I mean, are we in agreement? Totally goes with the apple theme. Yeah, of course it does. Oh my gosh. So what I didn't show you, I can't really show you. I wanted to show you this on my phone, but I can't. I made an apple pop socket. So this is at the Dollar Tree. This is a pop socket for your phone. It had this checkered there, and I just sort of colored it in and made it look like an apple, and I'm gonna put it on my Apple phone. Come on, that's really cute. I wanted to show it to you on my phone, but there was no way to film. That's my phone right there. Like, yeah, that's where you guys are in my phone, in my kitchen. All right, let's see. I don't even know where to go yet because I had so much fun with these. All right, this one, when I hauled, because I showed what I was gonna make the apple crafts with in my haul on Saturday. So if you wanna back up to a week ago Saturday, right? Yes, not this last Saturday because that was Halloween, but a week ago Saturday, I did a haul and I showed all the stuff that I hauled to make the apple challenge. So this was one of the tulips. It was a galvanized tulip, and I cut it down to look like an apple. This is just a stem piece from a pick. This is just the wire green. This is a magnet, which I put a sticker on, but I want you to notice in the film, I Mod Podge the part of the sticker that I'm not sticking to anything so that it doesn't mess it up. And it's just this little cute little message magnet board. That's obviously furniture marker, you know, I fill those in. Super cute little apple message board for your kitchen or wherever. I mean, you can put it wherever. Oh my gosh, where to next? Well, how about I do this one? So this one, when I took the beads, the wooden beads off of this had the wooden beads on it. It was a wooden, you remember they sold these? They had little sayings and they had a wood bead hanger on them. So I stole the wood beads because I haven't found the wood beads yet at Dollar Tree. And I had this left over. So first I thought I was gonna put something else in the background of it. In the end, I took the back out. I love this free floating in the frame. I think it's so adorable. I used up what I had, you know, I'd love it. If I can pull something out and use part of it and then use the rest of it all in the same crafting theme or day, it's wonderful. I love that. And so I did. And this is just one of the wood apples, right? Super cute though. You'll see on the video how I did this. And this is just an adorable little piece of apple decor. Okay, this was one of the ones where I think everybody thought I was nuts. So maybe not, maybe you guys didn't, but these are cat toys. No, they're apples, but they were cat toys and they had little mice inside of them. I took the mice out, I put a little wood apple inside, I put a little twig on there, glued a leaf on, and now we have cute little apple decor, which you can put them all together or you could put them, you know, wherever. But this, I just think it's so cute. So, I'm sorry, I actually think it's genius. It's a cat toy. They had it in black too, so I did buy some in black to do something else with. But look at that. I can make the coolest Christmas ornaments on them with the black ones. Okay, anyway, look, isn't that cute? Cat toy, cat toy. All right, so now one other thing, I'm gonna show you, the next thing I'm gonna show you, it's really funny because Phyllis sent me a message after I did the haul. Phyllis sent me on one of my comments, and she goes, you know, Amy, not all apples are red, because I said when I was hauling my apple stuff, I was like, I just bought everything that was red. Like I was just looking for red stuff, you know, blah, blah, blah. Like this material was part of my haul, the everything. I have placemats that I used in another decor. Sorry, I just knocked stuff over. And I'm coughing now, and I'm in a hurry because I've got to go to Disney World. But anyway, she sends me a message. She goes, you know, not all apples are red. And it was like, duh. Why was I just thinking red? Like actually, my favorite kind of apple is the Granny Smith green ones. That's what I like. It's also my favorite color. And I'm like, why did I have such a mental block? Probably because I was really pushing to get all my content done for while I was going to be gone. And so I think I blocked the creative juices. However, Phyllis, I owe you a huge thank you. Because of that, I took a couple of crafts in a different direction, this being one of them. And Rita, you're going to love this. When I hauled the pencil case, oops, I just dropped an apple. I said to you guys, I want to make it a little basket for collecting apples in. Did I not? Did I? Yes. See, Granny Smith, 5 cents a pound. Wow, I wish, right? So cute. These are the little wood apples. You'll see how I did them. I painted them, and then I put shoe polish on them, actually. Yeah. So this came out so cute, so perfect for a tier tray. So thank you, Phyllis. I never would have made them green. I don't know why. I was stuck in the red. I mean, I was totally in red. Okay. So I made that green apple little doohickey. Then I made some more red apples, or are they? This says pick your own apples, $1 a bucket. So these are the new little mini galvanized buckets that they have out now. And this is that same material, right? I'm gonna tell you though, this apple is twisted. So I say in the video not to let it dry on its own, to flatten it. And you'll see when you watch the video. But these are actually pomegranates on the, sorry, there goes my phone. These are actually pomegranates on a pick, and they work as apples. I think it came out great. This is also very cute, and then just added some twine on the handle, right? Oh, all right. So they had an apple sign, and in the haul, I showed you guys last year's apple sign. I was like, last year's apple sign was way cuter. I didn't like the apple sign this year. So I didn't use it, but I used the form, and this is what I did. And I love this piece also. How cute is that? This is a placemat. This gather is from something that I took apart maybe a month or so ago when I did some nautical. I used the background, I think, to put a whale on it. Anyway, super cute. Kept it, pulled the gather out of the frame. You'll see that in the video. And I love this piece. Just absolutely love it. Very simple to make as well. What am I going to show you next? Well, okay, I'm going to show you this one because of green apples, this inspired me. I also didn't think that all apples needed to be painted. I mean, you can buy wood forms of things. Like you could get a nice wood apple that's not red. So I took 2 of the apple planter boxes, which I had 2 of, and I deconstructed them, and I made a planter that had apples on all 4 sides. This is Granny Smith green hydrangeas, isn't it? But these, check this out. These are the little, I'm gonna pull one out just to show you. These are the little wood apples that I found at Dollar Tree. My guy drilled a hole in them, all right? That's the second time I've asked him to help me with the craft. He's getting pretty handy. And then I glued them onto a pick that I already had that I removed the florals off of. Actually, I think this was the leftover from the pomegranates. It is. So I took the pomegranates out and made them apples. And then I had their leftover stems with the leaves, and I glued the apples on there and then put them in this. Now this isn't going to go back to where it was supposed to be. You know how that goes, right? And then put them in here. How cute is that? So there's little apples in this apple planter. And I just did it with furniture markers. And I say this to you guys all the time. If you want to darken areas, you just keep going over it and over it and over it and over it. So I think it's cherry, oak, and mahogany. Cherry on the apple, oak on the leaf, mahogany there. All right, so then there is, okay, I've got 2 more things, 3 more things, I'm sorry. I don't know, but I paused it for a second because I had a message that came in, which is why I was looking down there. That was my guy. It says, can you please unlock the doors? I'm almost home and I need to run in and, yeah, probably drank too much coffee. I don't know. Anyway, okay, go unlock the doors. I wonder if we'll hear him run through as I'm filming. All right, so I have 3 more things to show you. I'm actually gonna show you the last thing that I made right now because I think it came out really well. I bought all of those wood apples, right? Where's the wood apples? These. I bought 2 packs of these. So I used one here, I used one in the frame, and so I had a bunch left over. Did I use them on anything else? No. So I was like, well, what do I do with them? And I didn't want to make a garland initially because I was like, everybody makes garlands. All right, but this is the God's honest truth. I was up in the middle of the night last night. I couldn't sleep, and he's sound asleep. So you'll hear me. I don't talk in the beginning of a lot of these because it was the middle of the night and I was creating. So I just filmed and then I voiced over today. But I had all these apples left, and I had used the green raffia ribbon. What did I use it on? I don't remember what I used. I used it on something. Oh, no, I didn't. I just had it out here. And so I was like, okay, I'm going to make a garland. And so I made this garland. It's the last thing I made, and I absolutely stinking love it. Phyllis, what color are these? Yeah. So this is the green raffia ribbon. You'll see I take it all apart, and hi, honey. And then I put some ribbons on there. Yeah, anyway, okay, it came out really cute. And it's certainly not traditional, is it? It's green apples instead of, but I did add just a touch of the red with the thing there. Anyway, okay, so this was the last thing I made. But before that, I made this. Oh, here's another one of the wood apples. I love this. So this is a messenger bag. Look, I turned it inside out so that the blue pattern would be on the inside so we wouldn't see it. And I actually really like that the seam is on the outside. I think that makes it very, very farm country. I love these florals in here. And I want you to take note of the ribbon. It's sunflower and red. I glued two together. So I popped that red in there on the apple, and I popped the sunflowers on the bow. I love this piece. I think it's so beautiful. I don't know where I'm going to hang it up, but I'm going to hang it up somewhere. And this is just a messenger bag. Ugh, it's my favorite. But the one that's, I don't know, I really love this one too. So maybe. But the one that I think everybody probably thought I was insane with was when I pulled out the roll of crepe paper last week and on the haul, and I said, I see an apple. Does anybody else see an apple? Well, you guys, I did it. It's a roll of crepe paper. Do you see an apple? Because I see an apple. So this is Mod Podge. I zip tied it. But see that line in the middle? I said this in the video. Like, if you're going to do it, don't Mod Podge all the way up to the zip tie. Let it dry, then take the zip tie off, and then finish the Mod Podge. Because I ended up with the line there. It's fine. I don't mind. And I make the mistakes so you guys don't have to. But this is so light. But it's really cool. And it's kind of a large piece. And it's super, you know, just to put up somewhere. And also it'll dust because I used the glossy Mod Podge, which I don't normally use. And I was like, I don't know. I kind of want it to look like a big shiny apple. Now here's a couple ideas. This is super easy and really cute. And you could take a Sharpie now and write Mrs. Johnson on there, best #1 teacher, or, you know, I mean, you could actually put a message on here. I didn't. I could have take chalkboard paint. I could paint in here and make it a little chalkboard. I didn't. I just wanted to keep it the way it is. Just a simple little crepe paper apple. Come on. I can hear you guys. That's so cool. Because it is. Yeah. All right, guys. That's it. He's home. I gotta go. We're going to the airport. I'm off to Disney World, but by now I'm back. I had a great time, I'm sure. Okay. So you guys, I really hope you liked all my apples that I made today. That was a whole bunch of fun. That was really a lot of fun. And again, I don't know, like, what is my favorite? I really think that I don't know, the messenger bag, I think truly is my favorite. But I also love sunflower, so I just love how that came out. Okay, so have a great day, great week, a great life. Enjoy watching the video as to how I made these things. Thank you so much for sticking around. If you're still here, give me an apple. And at the end of the video, please tell me which one is your favorite. Actually, I think the crepe paper is my favorite just because it's so out of the box and nobody would have expected it. So I think that's my favorite. I don't know, the cat toys also. You know, I love to do those ones that nobody expects. All right, so from your singing crafty, I'm in a hurry, can you tell? From your singing crafty crafter, happy hunkin', I should probably start drinking soon. From your singing crafty crafter, happy hunting at your local Dollar Tree. I will see you back here tomorrow for Themed Thursday, which could just be a Disney video because at this point, might get back on Tuesday. I don't know how I'll have time. So, but no matter what, we will see you tomorrow for Themed Thursday. Thanks, guys, so much. Enjoy the rest of the video. is the cutest thing ever, and it's so simple, easy. These are cat toys, and I get the little mice out of the inside of them, which, by the way, a twofer, because my cats loved the mice. They batted them all over the house. And so I take the mice out. I ended up putting a little wood apple into the center of them. I just thought that was kind of cute, added another little element to it. And then took the branches of the dried flower arrangements that you buy there, and this was a really cool green color. So I just cut a piece off for each apple, and really what I did was wedge it in at the very end of the loop on top. I just wedged that in to the top of these apples. Worked perfect. They're super cute. And I'm using my Dollar Tree hacksaw right there just to get it started. So I'm just going to wedge it in there. And then I'm trying to think if I added hot glue. I don't think I did. I think I might have started to, and then no, I just wedged it in. So once I get that on, then I'm looking at them, and they look really neat, but they also need a leaf on the top of them. So I just go into my extra stash. You'll see here in a bit. See how I just wedging this in right here, though? Just wedged it in. It works phenomenal. I even like the little slant that it gives the stem. So just wedge them in. So after I get those in, then I go looking for leaves. There you go. So simple. Like, this is not even any glue. I did use glue on the leaves though. So I just went into my extra stash of floral stuff and, you know, stuff that's fallen off or leaves that were left on stems after I removed all the flowers and so on and so forth. And just found some appropriate sized leaves. And then those, I did do a little dab of hot glue on them, and sort of stuck it on the, on the bottom of the branch. You'll see as I do that right here. And then that was it. These are so cute. And they're you can put them anywhere. You don't have to keep them in the set of 3. I just happen to do 3. You could do 1. You could do a whole bunch. You could do a bowl full of them. You don't have to put the apple beads in the middle. I just did that. Obviously, it looks like an apple even without that. Anyway, they're really easy and cute from a cat toy. I'm using the Farm Fresh Apples sign that's new this year. I just purchased this, and that is a placemat. I don't actually like the graphics on this one, so it says Farm Fresh Blessed, I'm sorry. So I'm going to redo it. I'm trying to decide which side of the placemat to use. So I noticed that the part of this actual sign was coming up, so I went and got my spreader thing, I don't know what it's called actually, and started pulling that up. So yeah, big mistake, because then I couldn't stop, right? So I just worked it until eventually I got most of it off, then soaked it with a little wet paper towel, and that got the rest of it off. Okay, so now I used spray adhesive. My purple spray wouldn't work, so I had to go get the aerosol one and glued it down, and then I just let it set for a while so it could dry, obviously. Then just use my X-Acto knife to cut that out to the form of the apple. It worked perfect. Looked really good. I really love this placemat. It's so apple looking. I just, yeah, really liked it. So I just finished cutting that out, and then deciding what I'm going to do with the rest of it, because now I just have this big apple. So I went and got something that I hauled a few months ago, I believe, and it's one of the, it used to have like a shadow box on the back of it, but I used it for something else, and I had removed this from the front of it, and it says Gather, and it's a very beautiful brown. So what I did was just started working the word out of this frame. I didn't want it in the frame, I wanted it freestanding. So I'm just using my X-Acto knife, anything I can do to try and separate it. Eventually, just by scoring it and then using my needle nose pliers, well, right there I'm using the Dollar Tree hacksaw on the T. I got it out of there, and it was just some tenacity. Stick with it, and eventually it works. I think the H broke, but I just glued it back the top of the H right there. I think as I'm taking it off, it breaks off. But that's fine. I just glued it back on. And then after, right there, see, top of the H off. After I had that all together, I took my sanding block and I sanded and rounded all the edges, and then took, I believe this is the walnut, and colored all the sides of this word gather, just you know, furniture markered it, and then all around the apple. Then I twined up the handle, and what I do is I go over the top and then down and over and down so that you cover up the top part of this too, and then just cut it. I knotted it with the tail that I brought down before I started winding, and then I tied another piece of string on there so that I could tie this bow on. And this is a twist and loop bow, is what I call them. So I just tie it on there, nice and tight. And then I got the red beads, which I thought I would use as apples, but in the end I just used them as beads on some apple projects. And just got some of those onto the string. I think at one point I actually went and got tape to get them through, or maybe that was another project. I now put tape in my craft thing that sits right there, because every time I go to thread beads, it gives me kind of a problem. Yep, I did it with tape, I think. Anyway, so I just put a few beads on there. I just thought it was very decorative and really sweet. There's the tape. See? Told you. Jot tape too, by the way. And then after that's all done, I get some beads on there in the way that I like. I think I did 3 and 2. I'm not exactly sure now. I put the word on there. That looks so good. I love this word on here. I think it looks amazing. I hope you guys like this as well. This is a thing full of crepe paper, and it looks like red apple to me. So I'm going to take some twine and scrunch it and shape it like an apple, and then I'm going to add Mod Podge on it to seal it in that shape. I'm going to do this with twine. If I just actually, probably a zip tie might be better. Anyway, so I'm going to zip tie it, then put Mod Podge all over it, let it dry, and then finish it off to look like an apple. I used 2 zip ties to get the length that I needed, and then just put it directly in the middle and pulled it really taut, and then sort of played with it a little bit, like I wanted more of an indent on the top and so on and so forth. And then just covered it in Mod Podge because obviously it's going to dry and keep that form because I'm like gluing it to that form. Now the only thing here is, though, I would say if anybody copies this project, is I took the Mod Podge all the way up to the zip tie, and I should have stayed away from it because I ended up with a line. You can see it in the photo, like a line from the Mod Podge down the middle. That's fine. I mean, these things happen, but if you wanted to do this, don't do that. But what I loved about this is that it's a fairly good size apple for $1 made from, you know, a roll of crepe paper. That it came out really, really cool, and it's super, super light, by the way, too, obviously. So then I cut off the zip tie, and I did add another layer of Mod Podge. Actually, I think I added one more layer on both sides. And I was filling in the gaps, because like the Mod Podge will fill in the gaps in the paper. Then after it was all dry, I took my X-Acto knife and then the poker thing, and then I took a screwdriver and worked a hole into the paper. I just had to break through the layer of the Mod Podge, and then cut my stem down, and then took, this is, it's raffia ribbon, and so I just used that, because it's paper again, I was going with the paper element, and used that to make a couple leaves to put on there, and then this project is done. Super cute. using a galvanized jar, one of the apple cutouts, and probably this little one from the back of this calendar. It's the new 2022 calendar, the farmer's market, and there's really no apples on the front. Strawberries and lemons, but no apples. So anyway, I'm just going to open it up and use that back one for this jar. We're just going to decorate this up a little bit. And I might put, I'm not sure what I'm going to do with the apple exactly, but I like the way that it looks in front of the jar. So I might just paint it up like an apple. So I'm going to cut that little calendar piece out. And then I got this red, is that buffalo check? I don't know what it is. Plaid. And I took my scissors and cut a rounded little scalloped edge on it. And then when I wrapped it, you'll notice I pulled all the material to the back, so it was nice on the front. Then I Mod Podged on the Orchard Apple sign. I wiped off all the extra Mod Podge around the sign so that it was just where the paper was. Then these are the, what are they called? The pastels from Dollar Tree. And so I colored up that apple using the pastels and did some shading on it and whatnot. And then took the jot markers and outlined it. Then I filled that hole in on the apple and colored that with the brown. Used the silver and the white glass markers to put a little accent on the jar. Glued that down, and yeah, I put the glue on the wrong side of the apple, so I had to remove it anyway. And then did the furniture marker on the base, and that was it. This is, or was, a tulip shape galvanized decorative piece. Actually, it's a ghost upside down also. So I just drew the apple shape and then cut it out with my scissors. This did take a little bit, you guys, but you can do it. And then I was just really careful to use my needle nose and pull off any little extras and give it a little sanding, make sure it was all okay. Then I took the green wire, it's like decorative wire, floral wire, I don't remember what they call it from the Dollar Tree. And I made like a leaf and a little curlicue. Then I took, this is part of what I made the stem out of, was part of a floral pick. And I just put some furniture marker on the base, outlined the apple with the red jot permanent marker, and then took a sticker that I just purchased that, I'm gluing all that down, that was a basket full of apples, put it on a magnet, and then I put Mod Podge on the part of the magnet that wasn't going to be sticking to anything, and then put a sign on it. Anyway, super cute little message board. Apparently I didn't record when I told you what I was doing with my supplies, so I gotta tell you now. I have 2 apple like box planters almost, and I'm removing 1 apple from each side so that I can glue these together to make a larger planter box. So I used wood glue and hot glue. Then I had to put a tumbling block in each corner to glue the next sides on. So I glued those on. Then I just colored these in with furniture marker, and I was just highlighting. You'll notice the darker, I would go over certain areas to make it darker, just like outlining it, making it darker and darker in the place that I wanted to. A little highlight there. I used cherry on the apple, oak on the leaf, and mahogany on the stem. So I just kept doing that and doing that to getting it to the color I wanted. Then I did take the cherry and color in all the sides too that were exposed. Now these are the wood apple beads. Like I had my guy drill a hole in them, and then I glued them onto a stem, and then took some hydrangeas that are like the green apple green and put them in there. I used the coconut liner in the bottom of this, and there is a piece of pool noodle in there. Somehow that footage also did not get taken. It was late at night. And so there's pool noodle in there, then the oak coconut liner, and then these are hydrangeas, and I put them in, just arranged them in there, and then the little apple beads that are on a pick that I had already removed flowers from. I did have to drill holes in the bottom of those little wood apples, but this came out so adorable. It was actually exactly the effect that I wanted. So it's really subtle. There's really no color to the apples. It's sort of a wood apple, whole thing is, but the hydrangeas are definitely green apple green. I hope you guys like this. This one, I have this pencil holder, and I'm gonna put it inside out, I think, to make it a little basket, like we're picking apples. And I'll take some twine and put some handles on it. I turned it inside out and realized I'd just completely done that wrong. I wanted to turn it into itself and put it in half. So then the bottom of this little basket now was actually the top of the pencil holder. And now I'm just making some little handles, and I'm going to wrap some twine around it. At first I thought I could just tuck the knots under, but then I realized I had to tie the handles onto the twine that I put all the way around the top of it. That was pretty simple, but now I got to get to the apples. So this was a thing of paint that I got in Crafter's Square, and that green was perfect. I used a furniture marker for the top of the apples and then painted it that green. And then afterwards they were dry. I took the shoe polish and just toned them down a little bit and threw in a little bit of brown like a regular green apple would have. And then after that was all done, I put some coconut liner in there, put the apples in, got a sign, and I tried the gold. That didn't work, and it says Granny Smith's 5 cents a pound. And then that's it. This little project is done, and I think it actually came out so cute for a tier tray. Okay, this is just one of their signs. It says hayrides, apple picking, bonfires, raking leaves, corn maze, pumpkin patch. Okay, anyway, I'm just gonna upscale this. This is super easy. Just upscale with some furniture marker, maybe a bow, maybe a little bit thicker on the thing, and maybe a little bit of three-dimensionalizing. I'm not sure yet. Let's go. Well, this is simple. I outlined the whole thing with the black furniture marker, took the twine off of it, and went all the way around the sign with the black, because the lettering was already black on the sign, so it looks really good. Instantaneously, that pops the sign. Then I decided to three-dimensionalize everything, so this is from the fall. A floral pick that had a bucket on it, but I didn't have a bucket with apples, so I just cut the sunflowers off of that, took these little red beads and made it a bucket full of apples for the apple picking sign. And then I basically just followed down the sign, three-dimensionalizing the icon parts of it. This looks really cute, the bucket with the apples in it. And then I added some sunflowers from, oh my gosh, I forgot, I added little stems on all these apples, which finished it off. It was just perfect. Finished off that little pail full of apples. If you can see right there, that sunflower sticker thing, that's which I hauled a few months ago, that's where I got the bucket from. And then this is from the sunflowers, or from the fall sticker thing I just got, so are the pumpkins. Then I went in my stash and got some leaves to do the leaves there. Then I went and picked up a piece that I've had for a while that had wood beads on it, and I wanted the wood beads for the top of this, so I just took the wood beads off. I set that to the side, and then I used that frame later in another project. So I tried just to transfer that hanger. It didn't work, so I had to go back to the hanger that was on it, and then I just put those beads onto that hanger and put it back on there. And then took just a farmhouse ribbon and made a really cute bow up on the corner, which I don't. Yep, there it is. Just simple. And this black and off-white sort of color just really went with this whole sign because of all the words went black. I love this. I actually think this is one of my favorite upscales, and it was so simple. And it came out really cute. So anyway, hope you guys like it too. bucket full of apples. So I have this galvanized bucket, this red check, and these are mini pomegranates, which I'm going to make look like apples. I mean, I think they look like apples just the way they are, maybe a little bit more reddish on them. Like this one looks very much like an apple. And if I just stick a twig in it, like when you find a twig, if I just stick a twig in it, I think it looks like an apple. So I'm gonna make them look like apples, and then I'll put a sign on it that says, you know, apple, I don't know. So, and I probably will put something on here too. I just don't know what yet. All right, so first I cut the material into a square to fit inside the bucket. I tried to knot it and thought maybe that would be enough to put in the bucket. It wasn't. So then I glued all the sides just to give it sort of a little hem, a clean line. Put it back in the bucket, and then I tacked the corners like down, and then was trying to wrap the twine around it, but that was really difficult, so I went and got a rubber band, which worked much better, and then I could finagle the material around and get it poofed and tucked back in and all that the way I wanted. And once I had that done, I took the twine and wrapped it around there and tied that off, and then cut my rubber band off. I didn't need that on there anymore. Except that I must have done it twice. I did do it twice. My twine didn't come out right the first time. Anyway, so now, the second time of twine, now I'm going to cut the rubber band off. So I get the pomegranates, I think is what they are, and I started coloring them with the red. You know, I stopped after a while. I was like, this is kind of dumb because so many of them are going to be in the bottom. So I put some styrofoam in there, started filling them up. And by the way, you'll notice I didn't put any stems on them because when I cut them off, the pick that they were on, I could cut them and leave a little stem. So that worked out perfect. Some of these were really, really red. If I was going to do this again, I'd probably be a little more careful about my pick selection and make sure I got redder ones. Some of these might look like plums. Could be a bucket of plums. I don't know. So then I had taken one of the wood apples and soaked it in water because I thought I was going to conform it to the curve of the pail. But as it turns out, the material came down too far. So I stuck some food dye in the water and just decided I would just dye the apple up this way. Worked very well. And then I let it dry. And so after it dried, I was like, well, what am I going to do with it? So I put it to the side, and then I wound some twine around the handle of this pail, just to give it a little more of a country farmish kind of look. And that added a lot, actually. I was really surprised. The simplest details can add so much. So then I went back to after I get this done, I go back to the apple and decide that I'm just going to make that a tag. So I'm not going to bend it around the curve of the pail because the material comes down too far. So I always practice what I'm going to write, FYI. And then I used the silver first. It didn't really show up, so after the silver, I go back over it with the black, which worked really well. And then I colored, I think, the leaf and the stem just with, you know, permanent markers, jot permanent markers. Looks blue there, it's not, the stem is green. I went over my black writing again just to make it a little stronger. So, okay, so I tied it on the bucket, but I got to tell you guys, what we need to do first is put the apple someplace with something heavy on it so it dries really flat, because a few hours later this apple was curved, to which it still is, but I'm not redoing it. So, I mean, it's kind of okay. But anyway, there's my mistake. Don't make it. So this is one of the burlap sacks, totes, or messenger bags, but I turned it inside out. So I have that and one of the wood apples, and I'm gonna make an apple picking bag floral arrangement. So there's a Velcro part here from when it was right side out. So I'm getting that off, just using my scissors to get that the thread cut and get it out of there. And then I got smart and pulled out my knife and started working on it. but I turned it inside out. Number one, I didn't want the pattern to peek around after I filled it. And also, I actually kind of like this look with it inside out. And then I wrote on there, pick your own apples, fill a sack, $5, I think is what it says. I wrote it on the one side. I didn't like the way it looked, so I flipped it over. And then I got a new one. We started all over. It's okay. These things happen, right? Luckily, I had extra. So I'm outlining just with the Jot permanent markers, and then I write it again. Pick your own apples, fill a sack, $1, sorry, $1. Went over it to darken it up, and then I added the little dots on it. I don't know if I do that here or do it later. So I doubled my piece of string, folded it in half, and then pulled both through and made a bow there. So I hope you can see what I'm saying. Like the bow is working as the knot so the strings don't come through. And then cut a little tiny hole in the bag so that I could put those strings through. I want to cinch it right here and hang our tag off. And so that's what I did. I hung the tag off and I cinched it. Then after I cinched it, I cut that and then made a bow there too. Of course, knotting the ends on my string. You know, I love to do that. And this is where I added little dots on the words. It really changes. It gives it a cute little font, which is what I was after. And then I took coconut plant liner and stuffed it inside the bag to give it some volume and also to hold the picks in place when they go in there. Now I just had a couple of sunflowers and a couple other, I went for basically all yellows. I really liked that with the burlap, and it just makes me think of, you know, like apples in fall and stuff. So I just put those in there. However, you can put whatever flowers you want in this. And then I wanted to add a bow. So one of the things about I'm removing the extra stems that didn't have any florals on them. You know, you always get those from Dollar Tree. I put a knot loop in the handle of it to hang this arrangement up with. And then, you know, Dollar Tree ribbons only have one side. So I got two ribbons that I really liked, the check and the sunflower. And I used the the tacky glue, the Aleene's that been at the Dollar Tree. And just sort of glued it together. And then let it dry for a little bit. Loved this effect. It's actually something I will do again in the future because I actually really like this. It gave just this nice little detail. I dovetailed the ends and then did my loop and twist bow like I always do. I put the sunflower on the outside, but look at that red check popping through, or plaid, whatever it is, popping through. I really love this because it just pops that little red that's on the sign and the yellow. Oh, this is, I think, my favorite today. I hope you guys really like it. This little project came from leftovers. So I had removed the beaded hanger on this to use on the upscale sign from the earlier project on this video. And so I had this left over. And I was like, I'm going to just frame the apple and I'll change the background on this piece of board. So once it started coming off, it just kept coming off, and I didn't want an uneven layer in the back. And then all of a sudden it occurred to me, maybe I don't want a back on this at all. So I got what was left over of the placemat that I'd used on the bigger apple earlier. I used the other side of the placemat, so this one looks slightly different than the larger one, and then just glued that on. I just used hot glue this time, and then cut it all out, got it all out of there, gave the stem of this, covered it with string or jute twine, right? And I really liked sort of the farmhouse look of it. And then I just got some leaves, but I cut them down because they were too large and added those on there as a nice little apple touch on it. Looks really good. Now I'm going to remove those things in the back. I don't need them anymore. This is going to be a standalone. And I got a little block and put it back there. There we go. Glued it. Did some twine around it. And then after I got the twine in, I was like, I need to add something else to it. So I went and got a ribbon. That didn't work. I was just playing with it all over the place. In the end, I took the little red beads and strung some of those on there. Again, I really like this. The little red beads were very helpful for this theme. And then I just took my jute twine and gave it a little bow on top. How sweet is this? And I used leftover stuff. Well, this was the last project I did because I had some wood apples left over and I was trying to figure out how to use them. And in the end, I didn't want to do a garland because I feel like that's so predictable, but I actually think this garland came out pretty cool and not very predictable. So I took the wood apples and I started Mod Podging on the green raffia ribbon, which I opened up. And I like that I didn't put it on there too carefully. And I did one side, let it dry, then I sanded them off, and then I went back and did the other side and sanded it off so that it's clean lines on this. Then I colored the stems in with, there's my Jot permanent markers again, poked the holes back through them, and then used the string that came with these ornaments and tied them on there. And then started making some stuff to add to the garland. So this is raffia, a green check, which matches the green in the Jot marker that's on the leaf, a red cotton twine, just because I wanted to add a little red into it, and then a green and white cotton twine. And then I just made some like little almost tassel-likes. And I took one complete string of the nautical, I knotted it on both ends, I found my middle, and I tied the middle apple in the middle, and I knotted the ends. Then I found the middle of one half of it and put the middle piece in, and so on and so forth, until I could get to the point where I could basically visualize after that how far to distance them. This came out super cute. What I did go back and do, which isn't on film, is the red that's hanging really low, I made those into bows. And I love this. I didn't think I was going to, but I think it's really cute because it's green apples.